Hello, my name is Silas Hahnemann, and I'll be presenting over Chapter 2-1, Adopting a Creator Mindset, as instructed by Professor Vanessa Negri. To understand the creator mindset, one must first understand the two mindsets. The first of these two is the victim mindset. The victim mindset is comprised of two different voices, the inner critic and the inner victim. The inner critic is the voice that says that you aren't well equipped enough to perform the tasks that you need to get done. It's a very pessimistic voice. The victim mindset is a way of coping with this voice that puts all of the blame onto outside factors. If your critic says that you aren't smart enough to do an essay that's due in like 2 hours, not talking from personal experience, the victim mindset will say that, oh, it's not because I'm not good enough, it's because the teacher didn't teach me correctly. This creates a very toxic relationship with yourself and with the people around you. The creator mindset is much like the victim mindset actually, except that it has a third voice, the inner guide. The inner guide mediates between the two different voices. It'll understand what the critic is trying to bring up, but understands all of these deficiencies as opportunities to grow. And whenever the victim says something like putting the blame onto teachers or students or whatever, the guide will say that maybe it'll be good to reach out to these people who are apparently so bad at their job, to understand them better and to become more accustomed to what they're saying. Ultimately, the victim sees problems and blows them up to enormous proportions, this being the victim mindset, not the inner victim. It'll take things like having a flat tire and thinking this is the end of the world and I will never ever be able to get to my job and I'll be fired and all this stuff and there's nothing I can do about it. While the creator will see this as, let's change a tire. To quote the book directly, when you accept personal responsibility, you believe that you create everything in your life. And this refers, of course, to the creator mindset, which sees everything as an opportunity. If something good happens, it's because you made it for yourself. And if you miss a good opportunity, it's because you weren't proactive in it. And now you can be proactive in another opportunity coming to you. However, this mindset is not inherently true. There are some things that we can't predict as people and some things that will get in the way. This is where it becomes, big word, not just escape me, this is where it becomes important to understand the difference between different kinds of victims. So let's say there are two people, Ashley and Bonnie. Both of them have basically the identical life, down right to their identical houses and identical old trees that are close to falling over in their front lawns. A really big storm hits and these trees do fall into their houses and cause extreme damage. In both of these cases, or in this case, both Ashley and Bonnie are victims with a lowercase v. Some outside forces come and cause them severe stress. There we go. However, they differ in how they react to this. Ashley sees this as an opportunity to, hey, let's figure out what to do if this were to happen again. She already has plans for renovations. She's getting a job so that she can help pay off these debts, or just pay off the construction and all of this stuff. And she's already looking past this as just a funny story that happened once. Maybe she'll write a song about it, whatever. While Bonnie is just like, this is the end of the world, my house is destroyed, I'm homeless, and there's nothing I can do about it. In this case, Ashley and Bonnie are still victims of an outside event, but Bonnie is a victim with a capital V. She's being tormented by an idea inside of her, that she can't move on from this. From this scenario, it is clear to see where Ashley and Bonnie differ. Bonnie has a victim mindset and Ashley has a creator mindset. Bonnie is oppressing herself with the thought that she can't go on, while Ashley refuses to wallow in her victimhood and makes opportunities out of her situation. It's also very important to understand that this kind of victimhood isn't just from purely outside forces. Let's change up the situation and get some of this hair out of my eye and say that Bonnie and Ashley do have okay living situations, however, they're not very good on the inside. They both suffer from severe anxiety, and it gets in the way of how they perform in life. Ashley, with the creator mindset, is going to therapy for this. She's talking to her friends. She's taking medication when needed, and is looking past this as not something that's breaking her, but something that she has to get over, and she will get over. While Bonnie is more wallowing in her misery, using it as an excuse, personal, I don't know where I was going with that, but she's not looking past this at all, and she thinks that it's something she will suffer with forever. In this case, they're still both victims with a lowercase v, but Bonnie is being a victim with a capital V, because she's refusing to get help over this, while Ashley is using this as an opportunity. So the capital V victim and the lowercase v victim is especially helpful to understand when accepting personal responsibility. We can't be responsible for literally everything. Although there are some times when maybe you'll think, what if you are responsible for this happening? What if Ashley and Bonnie were being dumb because they didn't go to different houses or chop down that tree before it became a problem? Or they didn't create a dome around their houses so that storms couldn't touch them. There comes a time when you have to think, is this really being proactive and being a creator and preventing future disasters? Or is this just being psychic and understanding that these things will happen? You have to know that you can't always prevent everything. It's important to take a response. Okay, I was trying to read something, but I think I typed it wrong. Again, it's important to take responsibility for as much as you can without overloading yourself, because then you give more food to your inner critic, and that becomes a bigger hassle for your inner guide. And now we get to personal things, because for now I've just been quoting the book, even though this has gone on for 8 minutes. So let's say, or let's talk about how this spring break, my car broke down when I was driving back home. It was very hard. It was overheating really bad to the point where the engine is basically melted. We're not sure if we're gonna be able to salvage this. I called my mom, I called my dad. They were both worried and mad, and I had 3 voices going on in my head. One was saying that I was incredibly stupid for not stopping earlier because I had been driving on smoking engine for like 5 minutes from that point, and it even smelled awful, and I was thinking, I bet I can make it to Austin on whatever's happening right now, even though I can't get up this hill anymore. That voice was saying that I was really stupid. Then there was a second voice that was saying, how was I supposed to know that this was going to happen? It's not my fault. No one told me what to look out for when my car is overheating or how to prevent this from happening. And it's not my fault. My car is just really sucky. Then there was a third voice that really kept me sane. And it was basically just repeating to me, okay. So it was a little dumb for me to keep on driving on a kind of busted car, but I didn't know what was going to happen, or if it was really that serious. So instead of wallowing on this, let's say, hey, I know how to prevent this now because a kind old guy pulled over and was like, oh yeah, you don't have any circulation fluid or whatever. Your engine's just on fire and it's kind of melted now. Oops. So now I know what happened, and I know how to prevent it if it were to happen again with a new car, or hopefully the same car. Now, respectively, those voices in order were the critic telling me I was stupid, the victim telling me that I couldn't have ever known better and it was the car's fault, and the mediator, or the guide, which was saying, I didn't know what was happening, it was a little bit dumb of me, but now I know better. I didn't always have this kind of mindset though. If this were to happen maybe last year, I would not have had the sense to have that third voice. I would have thought, this sucks, I'll never think about this again in a critical manner and just think of it as a sad time for me, and never would have ever learned from it. So it's very important to cultivate this third voice because it's something you have to do actively. It's something that you have to grow on your own, and it takes a little bit of time, but it will do wonders for your psyche and for how you treat the people around you and how you treat yourself. This basically concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for watching all 11 minutes of it. Oops, this was only supposed to be like 4 minutes, but I ramble. Thank you very much.